everybody, and welcome to Soapbox Game Mechanics, the fastest game jam in town, I think, probably. Today, right here with you, I've gathered you here today for an auspicious occasion, and that's to, with zero prep, design a whole game and then play test it in 90 minutes. Now, this is all going to be based off prompts that you've submitted, and if you're like, Anne, how do I submit a prompt? Well, friend, why don't you mosey on over to our Patreon? For $5, you not only get to contribute to the episode, name the games we design, but you also get to get all the games we design. And that's what a steal of a deal. Can't say no. There, subscribe. I've done my
That's so
ad.
true, Anne.
Thank you. My name's Anne. I'm a TTRPG creator, GM, and actual play producer, and 4/3 of a game designer. And I'm going to be your spark on this ramshackle journey. So now I'm going to hand it over to my co-host Graham and my other brain cell.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, Soapbox Game Mechanics. We're going to throw ourselves into a ramshackle, engineless little thing, throw it down a hill, and by the end of it, we're going to play a game and then talk about the game. And in a couple weeks, it'll be out. It'll be completely done, all shared equally by the three of us, which is why I am so excited to have our guest this episode. Our special guest uses they them pronouns and is a game designer, writer, editor, and publisher who is one half of Good Luck Press. You can find their games at goodluckpress.co. Welcome, Will Jobst. How you doing?
Hey, it's so good to be here. Thank you both so much. I'm excited to pull a game out of thin air, go viral. We can all quit our jobs. That's kind of the goal for tonight. Let's see if
This
we get it.
I can smell the cash money on the wind.
Ooh, smells like wet dimes. That's kind of what we want.
We have it all. We have
Toonies,
it all
wet
lined
toonies,
up.
sorry.
I think because
you.
is wet time a slur? Is that can we say that on Twitch?
You can. Right now, you can.
Okay, all right. As long as we've reclaimed wet dimes. Come back in January after your lovely holiday breaks, where one of our new guests will be designing a game called Wet Dimes. You'll have to tune in for that.
Veto.
There was a little game jam a couple years ago called like the Bad Game Jam, or it was like a bad monthly challenge. And so each day you had to make a bad game. And so one of the games was you had to roll a handful of wet dice I made. So what's putting me in the
What?
mood for? If you've ever never rolled wet dice before, let me tell you, it gets worse. This whole thing could get a lot worse. Okay.
I like that this is the groundwork we're starting from.
Okay.
Part of the big thesis of this is that we're trying to demystify this process, that it's doable and exciting and collaborative, and that is part of the joy for me, certainly. And so we have our hands full of wet dice, we have our brains full of ideas, and we have three names. They've been submitted by our patrons on Patreon. And Will, have you heard these names before? Have we prepped you in any way?
No, I'm ready.
All right. So I'm going to pass it over to Anne. Anne is in order, going to say them all, and then kind of let them just pass through you. Decide which of your bad mechanics you might be inspired by, right? We're going for free association. Just like let them sift through you like a warm rain and wet dimes. And then we're going to go back to the top and we're going to kind of filter each one by one. Are you ready, Will?
I'm so ready.
All right. And
Okay. So the first one is something similar to, but probably not exactly. Wayward cetaceans?
cetaceans. Yeah, you got it.
Cetaceans. I looked it up. It looks like it's a porpoise?
Porpoises, whales.
Porpoises.
Yeah.
Okay. One,
The
wayward
source god over here with cetaceans.
Cetaceans.
You sure about that?
Wayward cetaceans. It's our first one.
Okay, number two. The applest pear in the Cabbage Patch.
You want to give it a
Okay.
shout, Will? Just let it kind of roll over your tongue for a second.
I'm writing them down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
The applest pear in the Cabbage Patch.
I feel like I had a stroke twice during that sentence, which is
I like
maybe the energy. Um,
language is powerful. Okay,
I
it's
thought I knew words. Like, but I don't think I do. Okay, and then the third one's keeping with our really highbrow theme, Hot Wheels Sisyphus.
mm.
Hot Wheels Sisyphus. So these are your 3 options, and I'm gonna put them in the Twitch chat,
What a good idea. What a good
and then
professional
I'll
idea. We're
also
running our
put
good
them in the
professional show here.
our secret chat
Our
here
secret
so that
chat.
you have these. Okay, this
the
is the noodly proportion.
the Appleist pair being lowercase is speaking to me in sort of a rupee car way.
Yeah.
I'm getting something from that.
Okay.
Um, I have done a lot of work recently that involves big, scary bodies of water, so that the
Mm.
cetaceans is right in my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hot Wheels Sisyphus, I often find myself doing things over and over again
Mm-hmm.
every day. So, hmm.
So yeah, from top to bottom, we're looking for just free association. I'm looking that you like think out loud. I already have a few. Okay, big bodies of water. Good. Where else? Let your mind drift through wayward cetaceans. What does it make you think about, Will?
Yeah, I think of Echo the Dolphin. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
main one. I'm thinking of Dolphin Spin, which was a Flash
Ooh.
game that swept my high school by storm. That was huge. It was called Dolphin Olympics, actually. And you
Hmm.
were a dolphin, and you would basically flip in the water, trying to get as high and high as you can, and you could get to the moon. Basically, is how you
The
won.
moon, was that like making the cards jump in solitaire? Like,
Yeah.
did you win if you go
Well,
get to the
you could
moon?
go further, but the moon was
Yeah,
like a soft win.
great.
It's all about like managing momentum and stuff.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah,
There
I'm
is a
thinking of that. Oh, go ahead.
I said there is a surprising amount of lore about spacefaring porpoises in the
Sure, of
world.
course, the space whales. I mean, I'm sure there's a TV tropes article about it, and I mean, we could spend the whole episode just talking about how many
Those
things have space whales,
Yeah,
and I never get tired of them.
Vedita Valetti always puts a space whale in something. That's
Yeah.
like one of his little
and
hallmarks.
yeah. What are they up to though? They're always just set dressing. What do they got
Okay,
going on?
I'm also thinking of that
Mhm.
the biologist, the marine biologist who filled her home with waist deep water and lived with dolphins. Do you know about this? This is real.
You know about this? You heard about this?
You know about this?
I've
You know
not
about
heard about
this?
this. Waist
So
deep. Hey,
yes.
hey. Okay, just checking. Yeah,
So,
again.
so I please continue, Will, because it reminds me of something else. What do you, I don't remember this. I don't remember this story as somebody who claims they have a encyclopedic knowledge of animals
Okay.
in their house. This lady filled it up water in her house.
Yeah, I think it was in the 70s where you could do
Sure.
stuff like this and it
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
science.
yeah,
Back
yeah,
before they
yeah.
had
And
laws,
call it
right?
science. Yeah.
Laws for it. Ethics
Research ethics.
boards.
Down with the REB.
Yeah. So I think that like not necessary. So some of the stuff I cannot say what they did on stream, but like there
That's
was
okay.
Right.
I knew there was a reason this was familiar. She extracted genetic material from the dolphins,
okay. And to quickly
right?
push past, I think there's something interesting about that like dynamic of living with a wild animal and changing so much of your world to like this. Maybe there's intelligence, maybe there's not. It's way above my pay grade. But like, I think that's an interesting tense area, I think, for gameplay.
You're reminding me of like a Grizzly Man. If you've seen
Yeah.
that Werner Herzog documentary,
I
uh,
I know about it. I don't want to watch it. It's one of
it's
those.
good. No, it's
Yeah.
very good. And is restrained. It's not.
Mhm.
There's some really important stuff about it. But generally, the premise is that there was a let's call them a 70s style naturalist who
Yes.
went out into Alaska by themselves and was studying grizzlies, and then ultimately was attacked and killed. And so he was also filming himself a lot. So again, this idea of like where we as humans are versus what is outside we define as non-human, and how we decide to transform ourselves, and the consequences. The word wayward is the one that I wanted to, particularly when you're talking about the waist high water in a house, because the word wayward immediately makes me think of like houses for wayward girls, the like
Mhm.
turn of the century stuff where it was like, oh, so,
These are pregnant whales.
or like a, isolated from human and or porpoise society. I don't know. I feel like we're doing a lot of work on this. And are you is any of this resonating for you?
I'm trying to draw a whale. Is this a whale?
I don't know. Let
I
me
don't
look
think
at my
this is a
phone.
whale. Hold
Yeah, it's
on.
a whale. Hell yeah.
So this will be the second time I've tried to describe this game in 2 weeks without knowing the title of it. But there is a card game, like a semi-cooperative card game about navigating a sexual encounter with an alien.
Oh,
And
Okay,
yeah.
interesting. Now I'm
what
in.
is this called? What is it called?
It's like the tentacle one.
Yes. And so you
It's
play cards that are like different levels of touches or textures or stuff like that to try and like have a satisfying encounter for both parties.
consentical.
Consentical. That's what it's called. Thank you. Thanks,
That's why
chat.
you come on the show, Will.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Okay, taking notes for my own.
It's really good. Um, so I like alien romance. The type of like subgenre of romance where two people have to live together that don't necessarily elect to
Forced
or
proximity?
forced proximity. Let's do a forced proximity alien, like you're an ambassador for Earth and they're an ambassador for aliens. I'm thinking of aliens because it's dolphins and
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to deal with like
The ethics of that.
yeah, like I said, above my pay grade. Not a lot of time for research here. Um, so I think that's what that game might be.
I already very fruitful, very exciting,
Yeah.
sheer amount of ideas. And is there anything else that you're feeling buzzing about this that we haven't touched on specifically before we go to the stroke title and kind of work our way through it?
The only thing I wanted to add is I recently saw the Star Trek movie where they have to time travel to get humpback
Uh
whales to save the
Voyage
universe.
home. Oh yeah.
And I think it's absolutely hysterical that this is a plot that was written for an incredibly high budget movie where they're like, we need whales. It was Save the Whales, a
Mhm.
sci-fi adventure. And I think that's fun.
Yeah, a pure Cold War sci-fi. Okay, what if Star Trek, a utopia, we also killed all the whales? At pure 70s, like, oh, let's go
I
travel back in time.
people
Oh,
aren't thinking about whales enough these days, and I think we should think about whales more. Okay,
yeah, I agree.
that's all I had to add.
Will, would you mind saying our next title fully? Because you've written it down, I think.
Yeah, the Appleist pear and the Cabbage Patch.
All right, think out loud for us.
Yeah, so like I said, the lowercase is doing a lot of the work for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm thinking poems in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Appleist pear and the Cabbage Patch is also giving Animal Farm for some
Hmm.
reason
Hmm.
a kind of fruits and vegetables based.
A Veggie Tales, but Russian Revolution.
It's Veggie Tales, and it is the
Sure. uh,
um.
I,
I didn't think of Veggie Tales at all with this. Wow.
I
Sure,
it's
sure watched enough of it.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's a statistical anomaly with like a group of, is it three? At least one person will have seen a lot of Veggie Tales.
Share a birthday, they've seen Veggie
Right,
Tales.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Appleist pear and the Cabbage Patch. There is something kind of 80s hip hop happening with that title.
Yes. Yes. Okay, that's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
Yeah.
fresh. We have to go fresh, fresh.
Yeah.
That's very good.
I was
Oh
Uh
my
also thinking
goodness.
there's something psychedelic happening here too. Like it's like we got a little word play such. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the pair is who the game's about.
Okay, right.
And
Mhm.
The Appleist pear. Sure, 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 sure.
and what is it to be to the Appleist pear? It's like the kind of tyranny of identity, right? This is like this is who this apple truly is, or the closest thing that they can identify. Um, but they're also in the Cabbage Patch, which is a
Right.
totally different. They're not fruits. It's cabbage. How does this even work? I think there's a climate issue with the pears. I'm not sure.
Above your pay
Yeah.
grade. I got it.
Again.
The thing that's really sticking out for me is that we have three things that are not alike, and maybe I'm just always drawn to threes and
Another
inherently
Christ
queer coding.
reference
Right.
for
Yeah.
like
You know, very.
VeggieTales.
I again, yeah, the Christ based vegetable tales.
Mhm.
Um, but we have apple, we got pear, and we got cabbage in one confusing sentence, which is what I think. There's so much to kind of unpack individually, and so there's like three really important decision points or like inflection points of like what we could decide to go in either way. And I think
Yeah,
it's very interesting, right? And what these all are being defined. What is the cabbage patch? What is the relationship with apples and pears, and then
I've
all of this
got it.
together? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think what we're doing right now, trying to decode the sentence, is the game, right? So
Oh,
I
great.
think it's a game about intercepting like psychic hazards like this, the apple is pairing the cabbage patch, and that has some sort of loaded meaning, kind of an equilibrium world, a kind of gray, contextless, brutalist zone, and
Is it
we're getting these messages, right?
it's like a cryptography game? Like, it's like a
Yes.
decoding where and then you have to make the codes, and then the codes tell the story. That's fucking cool.
It's like a cipher. It's also it's got like a spy
Yeah.
code phrase kind of feel. The like it almost sounds like gibberish, but it's not quite gibberish. Like I'm feeling this.
It's
What
got
do you?
too much meaning. It's like one of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too much
Yeah.
meaning.
I
Fantastic.
feel like it's like a person at like an operator intercepting all these coded
Yes.
messages, and they don't know what they mean, but they are the apple is pear and the cabbage patch, like, for sure. Like, that is
Yeah.
the
Is it
apple
us
is pear.
guys? Yeah, there's like a
Oh,
point where everyone is like throwing out definitions of all, and then you ultimately have to come to like, wait, it's us. It's us,
Yeah.
guys.
There was a Tim Powers book. I can't remember which one, but it's about
Consenticle, I think.
it's called Consenticle. It's about a woman who is like in occupied Paris, and she is intercepting radio transfers and skipping radios across the atmosphere, radio signals, and like dealing with these coded messages, dealing with like a underground thing. I think this is like a solo game of deciphering meaning out of these phrases in some kind of really tense situation like that. So the juxtaposition of something extremely silly can become very meaningful for a
Now,
resistance or something.
now we're talking my bread and butter. I love that kind
okay,
of shit.
and, like, me, back to day job life, archivist stuff,
Ooh,
ephemera, and
yeah.
like
Mm.
so much of like the work we do in like information science is like you gather little bits and then you have to like try and put it together. And so you're often caught with transitory information that you're trying to make sense for that was never meant to communicate what you're trying to get it to communicate. I think that's such good soup. I love I love a little ephemeral message thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Imagine just
that's
like
fun.
getting blueprints and plans and documents and then getting a single cipher that has you like discover the meaning inside of them. That feels very cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Um,
Next.
our last title, which I would love for some free association, kind of falling like wet dime rain all over. What is our last title there? Sorry, Ann.
Hot Wheels Sisyphus.
All right, Will, let us have it.
Okay, so just definitions. Hot Wheels, those are little matchbox cars. You put them on a track, they do loops occasionally. Um, and then Sisyphus was a very bad guy who got punished for being so bad. No one talks about how much bad stuff he did when he was alive.
He
Just
had it
something that
coming.
I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, look, I believe no one should be incarcerated, including Sisyphus. But
Was he incarcerated or was he just
Are we getting
pushing up?
canceled? Are we gonna
he
close
was,
Rikers? Close Rikers.
yeah. I mean, it is. It's labor that has no meaning.
Hmm.
Ain't
You
that
know,
just the way?
yeah. So he's stuck. pushing the stone up the hill, forced to do it again and again every day.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the ironic punishments, I feel like it gets brought up the most.
Yeah.
I feel like people aren't going out on the internet and being like, "Man, I feel just like Narcissus," you know? Like
I think about Narcissus
I
way
do
more
too.
than I think I
It was
should.
the second
Yeah.
one that came into my head.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the action of like falling into the water. I think
Yeah.
that's my favorite part. Like
I was gonna say, as someone who spent a lot of time on short form content creation, I think about Narcissus a lot. You look at your
mm.
own face
But
too
you talk
much.
about I'm talking about like the internal, of course, absolutely, you know. But the
Oh, you
idea that
stare at
like
your own face until you lose your identity. I don't know.
the
Like I think.
the memeing part, the part that is
Yeah,
like
you're right.
out there, you know.
In the
And then
world.
that quote, which I do not know the origin of, is one cannot imagine Sisyphus satisfied, or
One must
one
imagine
must in
Sisyphus
Sisyphus
happy.
happy. Yeah,
That's one of
Oh.
them. I think there's a lot of ways one must
one
deal
must.
with
One
deal with that.
consider the Sisyphus. One must.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
So Hot Wheels Sisyphus. I was just thinking, I showed my mom because I was home for Thanksgiving. I showed my mom marble races.
sick.
We know about marble races here.
Like the organized play of marble races, the way that like you like
There's a
pop it
guy
up
on
on YouTube.
YouTube who,
Sure.
yeah, who
Yeah, yeah.
creates like giant room-sized dioramas of like stadiums filled with little marble guys watching like a 16 team marble Olympics, basically. And it's fully voice casted. It's totally animated. It's like one of the most heartening, like, this is what we would do if there was UBI. We would have way more of this kind of stuff. This,
the whimsy.
yeah, exactly. Um, and so Hot Wheels is a similar, like, it's just gravity happening on these cars. But I really loved the kind of circumstance and the whimsy and how often, like, surprisingly funny the marble races were. So marbles are stones that you push up the hill. I wonder if there's something here. That's just kind of where my brain took me.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. I think the phrase for me is invoking that classic sort of the deep contrast. Sisyphus is so deeply serious; it's this eternal ironic punishment, but it's all about movement, constant movement, right? And effort. And Hot Wheels have a similar crossover of movement, but it's they're toys and tiny and have the radical absurdity, right? It's very unserious, while Sisyphus is extremely serious. So I'm just getting visuals of like uh that guy from Twisted Metal, that's Axel, who's just like a couple big wheels,
Yeah.
but they're Hot
Al-
Wheels and
He's
it's
also
Sisyphus.
punished. Axel's also in the constant punishment.
Well, that was like the whole thing with Twisted Metal, is they all had these like, you know,
They all had wishes, right? They'd have
sure,
wished that they would get if they won the Twisted Metal games.
totally, yeah.
You have been deliberating for 20 minutes.
Thank you,
Oh,
Ghost,
oh, we.
the great
But that
Sisyphus in the
doesn't
sky.
count. That doesn't count for the timer, does it?
Of course it
Correct.
does.
Wait, I no, it's correct. See, God said it's okay.
No, we have to get started.
Oh my God. Okay.
This was more
We have
of
to
a
get moving like
time check.
Sisyphus.
Okay. My only note about the Sisyphus one is that I just love a car chase. I love a fucking
Mhm,
car chase. And I
mhm,
like the idea for me, like, I don't know how this, but I like the idea of like having to, like, if it's a Hot Wheel, right? It has to get to the top of the ramp. And like,
mhm.
I like the idea of it being grueling and horrific to get to the top of the
Mm,
ramp. And then you just get a sick car chase. And
mm.
that's maybe, is that literary? Is that, I haven't cited Camus yet, but I can if you want.
Go on.
Chat is for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, F's in chat. F's in chat for some Camus. The Stranger? Oh, shit.
Stranger dog. What? That never looked at the
Whoa.
beach the same
I
way.
I had to read a lot of Camus in school, and I got the wrong stuff. And mostly, this man is obsessed with touching a girl on the shoulder for a lot of that book. Like, that's really what it's
It's
about.
basically Spider-Verse. It's
Yeah,
basically
I'm
the
like,
hey.
okay, all right. And then he like shoots a guy, and he's like, I don't know, because nothing is anything. So I don't think
Oh,
that's
that
what
was
Camus
cool
is
of
really.
me.
Will she let me touch her shoulder now? I
Doesn't
didn't.
she realize that nothing is anything?
Nothing is anything, and I
Maybe she'll
killed
like me
that
now.
guy. Yesterday,
the
Mama
eternal
died.
contemplation, working on my Mew.
I do think what you've suggested, and which is always valuable, is an art, is pacing. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
you're like,
I thought you were
"Wow,
gonna be like I thought you were gonna
no."
be like, what you've suggested is valuable.
We are all the own Narcissus of our Sisyphus.
So
Um,
I got a flash of a game and you're
a flash
describing that.
game, yeah, the dolphin, I remember.
Yeah. So I've made a car game before, and one of the things I really fell in love with while researching it was rally racing. And in general, the relationship between the driver and then the navigator next to them. And so, if you're not familiar, basically the way these work is that they get a super tuned like hatchback or something like that, and they whip it down country roads as fast as they can. Sometimes they fucking crash and stuff. And so the way to fight that is they have a navigator who has memorized and created a notation of the track and reads it aloud to the driver as it's happening live. And they create it. You can hear audio of this relationship happening and how tense it can be when it's going wrong. And so when I think of like Hot Wheels Sisyphus, it's like, okay, what is the navigator who has gone through multiple drivers on the same course or something like that?
Oh, fuck, that's so
Something there.
good!
Something
Fucking
there.
cool.
I that's it's incredibly cool and exciting as a, like, sci-fi speculative concept of, like, the navigator is always the same, but the Sisyphus drivers keep crashing and dying, and you keep getting new
Yes.
Sisyphus drivers, and the reason why you're the navigator is you have, like, this untold tragic amount of time and knowledge of this track. Man, that's good.
Thank you. I mean, the way I would probably want it, there's a couple games recently that have been very inspiring. Chuck by Tyler Crumrine, Tiny Wizard by Haunted Table that involve using miniature things in your world to affect it. So Chuck is a game about having a partner or romantic partner that's like 2 inches tall that you have to carry around, and you like navigate that relationship with them, taking them on dates. What happened, like, and how you drift closer or apart, and the game ends with you chucking away your partner. Tiny Wizard, which is I don't know how much was there was an announcement recently, so I think I can talk about what I've heard about it. It's very cool. Haunted Table, the Triangle Agency folks is a game about a little wizard that's making a huge pilgrimage across your apartment or your house or your room. And so you move it like an inch every day, and it gets different things when it gets near like the kitchen, or you get an upgrade and you get these special shoes that you always teleport back to your bedroom or something like that. So I think the Hot Wheels and the size is really important to the pitch, I feel like, because
Mm.
that's something. I mean, how many of us can just imagine racing the car along the floor or on the walls or things like that?
I enjoy this greatly. All I had to add was in the anime Initial D, it's about street racing, and there's the one hot girl street racer, and she has a hot girl navigator with her.
Yes.
And it was
As was intended.
it was so good. I'm like, I don't know why, and it's the best part of the show.
Okay, so let's
So
make it about them. And then, yeah, I feel like you set up courses around your home and then race the car on them or something like that. And then that navigation, maybe it's like a turn by turn thing because that's like you're negotiating
okay,
the mountain
ha
passes. Yeah, hit me.
halt, because I think at this point we have to pick a game.
We do.
We made 3 just now.
I
What are you
know,
talking
and
We
they're
made
about?
3 pitches. We
I
made
think
3 ideas of
they
games,
all
certainly.
fuck. So we gotta pick one.
So
What
we
are
got a
the
wayward cetacean game, which is roughly about
forks
relationship,
proximity
forced
alien?
proximity, alien, porpoise, living in a house with too much water, um, opposites.
That one's
Uh,
really good.
we got kind of a deconstruction reconstruction of language, which may or may not create its theme as by based on experience at the table. I'm certainly drawn the idea that you don't have a initial scenario instead of like a lot of games you should have a first one sentence pitch to really ground people, no matter how weird it is. So like, okay, great, and now we're going to fully explore that idea to its logical conclusion. But like in the way that like the sentences that are so freeform, I like the idea of defining them individually. So you're not always spies. You're not always. But it seems perfectly possible that you're as willing to pass a notes in class as you are spies, as you are waking up from a coma. Like, I think these are all very interesting. And then finally, we have some kind of uh physical move around an actual space like your room or house, that may or may not be a existential hell of partnership, but largely about having little cars that go zoom zoom zoom.
Doomed lesbians, naturally.
Right.
Thank you.
Right at the
Thank
end,
you.
right at the finish line.
I need
Yeah.
you to know that all 3 of these games are about doomed lesbians.
Yeah, duh. Sorry.
It's
I will say, out of these 3 topics, my knowledge base, alien sex, the most.
sure.
Yeah.
Code breaking, a little bit. Cars, none, but I can make it up.
Our
And I've
our
seen
whole
that one
show is
anime.
car themed, strangely enough. No engines in the car. That's part of it. It's a complicated metaphor that we're weaving. Um,
I learned a lot of lingo from that anime, though, so I think I got it.
When he puts the water cup in the car and is like, "That's how I learned how to."
For
Every
the
time
tofu delivery.
I was driving back from PAX Unplugged, just a car full of shit on these like mountain roads all the way across Pennsylvania. Stay too long, okay? But every time I took a turn too much, I imagined the water like going up.
I'm vegetarian and I have a lot of tofu in the truck, and then I just say, I go, "Takumi!"
yeah, the tofu in the cup. It can't wiggle, right? Like, that's the same
Yeah,
thing as
that's
the
the
water.
point. Exactly. Oh, okay. Let's just go watch
So
anime. Sorry. Okay, no, pick. Pick.
so doomed. Which doomed lesbian game are you feeling the strongest pull towards? And
Yeah,
I
I
guess is my
think
question.
the first one is the one I don't think I'd ever see in the world, so I would like to make it, I think.
Alien sex dolphin tentacle water
This
house.
this situation is so specific and so strange that I want to spend time with it.
Okay. Alien sex waterhouse is what I'm writing down. We'll get there. All right.
It It does feel like consentical. I wonder how we can define it outside those things, because we had a
I think
journey,
we could
right?
do it.
We
Yeah.
had all of these different steps that started with, "Do you remember those '70s biologists?" Um, and all these other steps, right? Until right at the end, you were like, "What if it's about alien sex?" It was the doomed lesbians of that little section, right? Um, so yeah, I'm on board if we are all excited, most excited about wayward cetaceans, and then figure out which of these parts of the pitch are the most interesting or drawing us. This is a process of uh, um, the following the path of least resistance. I should have said that for the Sisyphus one, but it applies here too.
It's the most resistance.
It's a lot of resistance.
Okay.
The resistance of the doomed lesbians. It's okay. We'll come
Okay.
back for you, doomed lesbians.
That's official. So, Jen, we did it. We're late, but we got there. Are you proud?
I am very proud of all of you. Your timer has started.
All right.
Okay.
The Sisyphus in the sky has weighed us. So yeah, that's my open question currently to the table in terms of with this line of inspiration that we were kind of all just leading towards. What were the points of highest excitement or interest? Because it was all linear, and now I want to kind of figure out where in these points we were and kind of draw them out, and then we can figure out mechanics or points of inspiration from there.
Okay. You're an exobiologist who's on like a long-term mission,
Yeah.
and you have like a prefab home that you've modified to accept your visitor. Maybe they're also an exobiologist and they're doing something in that same spot, but I think you play the human character, and then I'm imagining a solo game here. I don't know if it needs to be. But I think a part
It
of it
sounds like a 2-player game.
could
Sounds
be
like a
2-player,
cute
but
little duo.
yeah.
Okay.
I wonder.
going,
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Un
What I
un
want to
unle
know
Unless it's a
is like,
solo game, and if it's a solo game, I think that would imply, like, this opaqueness to the
Mm.
relationship or mystery. So I get it's just a choice, right?
I think we could probably build it both ways to be opaque. Like with hidden hands of cards, or not even
Hmm.
cards if it's too consensual. But anyway, I want to know the layout of the house where this is happening
Okay.
and how it's been changed. Maybe that's a part of the setup of the game, like the setting creation. How have we physically changed the space so we can both live in it? What part have I compromised? What part have they compromised? What is untenable for me? What is untenable for them? What is my home space in this fucked up prefab moon base, and for them, uh because I think a lot of the tension will be driven through like the interactions we have to have in the space together to live, and not just like what is our extracurricular activity. So it were.
Sure.
So in my webtoons, I've read a lot of web comics that are like, oh, I made a deal with a demon and now he lives in my house. And things like this. And I love this. Like, I think I like the element of that, like, and I want to ask, I guess I put this to you. Was this intentional? Like, did I choose to have this person, or did I just agree to have another biologist live with me, not knowing they're a whale person?
To me, this sounds like a kind of first contact scientific exchange kind of deal. That
Yeah, you're on a mission for Earth, and also a mission for yourself, I think. So you're holding those kind of opposite axes of like this this alien's being a dickhead to me, but I have to be cool because it's for Earth, right? But it's like I also have these personal needs and things like that. Yeah, what do you think?
Okay, the other thing I'm thinking, and sorry, we might just be going through um
This is great.
that's
my
that's
AO3
why
types.
it's why it's a team.
Thank you. But okay. Well, also I've been playing a lot of Tangled Blessings lately.
Hmm.
And in that game, you have a rival who is
Oh,
another person who's doing the same thing you're doing at the same time. And I didn't even write it to be sexy. It just ended out that way because like inherently rivals are hot. So like if this person is also an exobiologist is part of this rivalry too.
maybe there are two exobiologists. And
Yeah, I that suggests to me that there's like an outside tension, right? And I think that's potentially interesting if there's an inside tension that is the relationship, the space. We can't leave it, right? I mean, it doesn't
Mhm.
work unless it's a pressure cooker. But then the some kind of ticking clock or like again Cold War-y idea that like there's another first contact or another prefab moon base, and like what if they're discovering more about each other than we are?
right.
So
Okay, so the difference in like the way we connect with people, maybe you're the exobiologist, it's about, your physical form. Maybe the rival is like a xenolinguist or something like that. He's like, I'm trying to communicate with the alien. I'm like learning about them, and that's a much easier connection than you have until it's not. Or maybe there's something like this. So like they spend 2 hours a day in the like language lab that's connected to a different thing. You're in your own like cordoned area.
are we
And
we a love triangle now? Is
I
it
think
are we
kind
Yeah.
of feels like it.
I was gonna make the alien itself my sexy rival, but I like
Nice.
more
well
sexy
all these
rivals.
all these are options, right? Like um
I took a long bus ride the other day and was talking
Mhm.
to my seatmate, and they revealed that they had a rival, and I needed to hear everything about it. So I'm very interested in the rival factor.
yeah, the question is whether or not we feel it is fruitful to define a structure or that be part of setup. I think there's always kind of a risk with like not necessarily complexity creep, but like trying to design for all scenarios. Oftentimes, then people will only fall into one or two. But I think for us to decide is like what is giving the most, what is the most interesting. You with the hands.
Okay, but like I also love like kind of going back, like we've talked about a few things now. The idea of like, okay, the inherent horror of living with another person,
Yes.
Yeah,
of
great, great.
like Like, I like the idea that the game starts with you, like, making the house, which is, like, in
Yeah.
a spaceship or whatever, like, you
Yeah.
design it, and you get it just so. Like, you optimize it for what you're trying to do here, and then, like, it's a and then having to compromise that
Yeah.
to do things, I think that's really fun and powerful, and
Yeah.
something I think would be really well communicated through a game
Hmm.
where there's,
Yeah.
like,
So it's
an
like week one, it turned out that the color of the walls or something like the texture of the walls were wrong. So you had to like paper over them or put goop on them or something like that. And yeah,
yeah,
you're making all these compromises for your space until there's a breaking point. And that's really good. That is what living with people is like.
And then the breaking point is the sexual tension. I'm wondering how many like where are the lines here, or not lines, the different trails that we're kind of following along in terms of like our themes and ideas, right? Um, I do love the making of the space, and now I'm kind of imagining like physically making a map and like laying out index cards that are like sectioned into each other, and you're like, okay, this is living space, and here's something else, and you're drawing in, okay, this is the public space, and these are like the living quarters, and the idea that like some kind of simple process of this is why it's right for me, but now has to be radically changed for
yeah.
the other alien species. I'm also thinking about that Next Generation episode with the fish people that need like their special air. That Worf is
Yeah.
like beautiful species. Again, like everything being diplomats, but then also like, what if we weren't on a giant galaxy class starship, but we were in one shitty moon hut?
Okay, so we're designing this house as part of it, and we
Mm-hmm.
want I'm gonna say we want the player to feel attached to this space, right?
Mm,
Like we want them to care that they want, I want them to like it the way it is. Do they like it because it is because I think spaces provide two main things. They have utility and then they have like emotional baggage.
mm-hmm.
And so are we going to develop both utility and emotional baggage for our space or just do one or the other?
I think it's a three-step. I think that you, as a group or as a person or as a pair or something, like again, we'll figure that out. I think the first step is making this like repressively functional space. I think the second step is then making it into something like a home, and then the third step is fucking it up, and then you then explore it with that other person, right? Oh
I
well,
love
now the place where I go because I have I have light for reading, like a reading nook. Well, now it's flooded with hydrogen gas, and I can't go in there for most of it because of the walls are now bleeding.
aliens eat paper.
They
Just
eat
want to
paper.
find out. They eat paper.
They
They
eat
eat my
paper.
book.
They're eating my books. Yeah. Um.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm seeing a little bit of like blueprints drafting
Yeah.
kind of stuff in
Yeah.
phase one, and then some kind of like second layer of prompting on how to flavor these places, like you both mentioned, and then your partner moves in, and then you figure out what the fuck's gonna happen.
I I like the idea of like building memories in spaces.
Hmm.
So like if there's like little vignette
Yeah,
story prompts of like where were you the first time you felt at home in this strange new place?
that's amazing.
Where like where do you go when you need to relax after a like you fumbled another experiment? Where do you go when you need to relax? And all the questions are like where this happens instead of and then hopefully that like creates like a little thing like where do you store the mementos you've gathered
Yeah,
on your journeys? Like all these things. And I think that could start to make something that like goes from that like a lab essentially to and maybe there's like a mechanical thing happening here where it's like, okay, you actually have a well-designed lab, like you designed it well, so your task that you're doing is efficient. I don't know, maybe there's a I don't know if you guys care about that. I just play a lot of
no,
cozy games where I like things to be orderly and optimizing I'm currently spending a lot of time optimizing the layout of a grocery store. So
fuck
like
yeah. Yeah, I totally see that, and especially when it's that third party that we were talking about that's like you're on a mission and your mission is suffering because you're suffering. It's not just like you're dealing with
Mhm.
it. There's like a losing state or something.
Mm. Um, what I am interested in getting from the both of you in terms of like the back half or like the building point to the tension breaking, or these two ideas of the like the odd couple versus something that's romantic in nature and the growing or pointing of that. So in terms of you make the space, and also what is inspiring to both of you individually, that both of you were like, yes, alien sex or this other thing or these other parts, like how do we draw that into the second half and section it in a way that it is compelling? Are we still talking about a two-player game? Is this fully a journaling game? um, that's the part that I think that needs the most hemming in terms of theme.
I think that at this point it's a journaling game, but we'll see when we get to the because in my mind, step one is you design the space, and we could get into that of like whatever it is. Step two is you live in the space, so you get all these prompts, and that they could. I don't think that has to be journaling. I think it could just be asking. I think it'd be putting it on a map would be nice, like uh, drawing it. That would be nice. More of a drawing game than a journaling game. And then the third one, step three is like the new person joins.
Mhm.
And then I think if you were to how would I do this? I was gonna be like, if you were to do it as a duo, you would have to have one person doing the same thing in their home and then leaving it all behind and only getting to take little bits and pieces and then trying to fit into the space. And then the other person is like trying to maintain it. And I will say, I don't think you have to write that it's sexy. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
just
agree.
sexy.
Yeah, I agree. I
It's just
don't
inherently sexy.
1,000,000%.
Okay.
I don't necessarily see player counts being like you could play this as a like a storytelling game where you're all building a place together and then all flavoring experiences and then all like crashing in these characters to each other. Maybe you have created a route through the that you do your maybe it's 1 week in the day of this like exobiologist and you have like little things you do like a sim every day. You literally wake up and you go make breakfast and then you go to the lab and then you get lunch and then you have yeah, what do you got?
Okay, I was just thinking like, okay, now I'm very obsessed with it being a drawing thing. So it's like it's
Yeah.
this is the place, okay? Say there's like a room here, a hallway, whatever. And then like as you go through the tasks, you like go like take a different like a color of being like how you would go through the space that day and then create like little like paths of
Yeah.
like, the way we wear grooves in the places we inhabit and the way that, like, we end up with dead corners, you're like, "I guess I can sacrifice a dead corner," and then you run out of dead corners pretty quick.
That's interesting.
And
Um,
then you inject maybe there's a randomizer that puts the alien life form in your path and then that's the encounter that you have. And so maybe you roll on an encounter table, you talk about either you play it out or talk about it or something like that.
You
Oh,
have
I
been
love that.
designing for 15 minutes.
Thank
the
you,
tentacle
Alien Overlord.
alien, the tentacle cetacean has let us know.
Okay, so what if it's on like a hex, like it's on a graph paper or something like that, so that what you can like roll for where the alien is when you're trying to do
Yes.
your shit.
Yes.
And then it's like aliens here now, and like maybe you already established that's where you keep like your personal journal or like your mementos from home, and the alien's there, and like how do you feel about that?
And you're
Or
getting a
one
phone call that's right there. And you
I think the idea
little bit of
is
little Dr. Lucky too, where like you've
yeah.
got a set path and you're trying to interrupt it. But yeah, Graham, what do you got?
No, I was also thinking like Dr. Lucky in terms of like the idea of like kind of a programming path and then this like pseudo, not really like hidden movement, because it's really just about the suddenness of an awkward encounter
Yes.
that's like disrupting this normal flow, and then deciding like how then we play that out. um I think then what that requires in terms of the front end of the function for what plays in is that the prompts or the leading questions all have to be about like inherently quiet or personal acts, but being forced to be done in a public shared place, like yeah, like a phone call, like a really intimate phone call, and like the
Getting in
aliens right
trouble
there.
at work or something.
Trouble at work, right? The me time, um, things that you would prefer in solitude to do. I mean, that I think that has to be in totality what those things are. Otherwise, I don't think the why is this strange person in my personal space not leaving my personal space needs to have that kind of juice for people to then play off of and find inspiration from.
Yeah. Game's good. This is a good game.
Game's good. Yeah. Yeah, the blueprinting. I'm really seeing the building of not just a map making, but the very specific blueprint of the moon shack.
Okay. So I think I have now in my beautiful notes, which the chat can see, is that we design a space, we live in the space, we introduce the friend. That friend will then move through the space and interrupt your flows, and then also change the space in some ways. Okay, that's all I have. And then so going back to the very beginning of that, designing the space, that's the blueprint part. Do we want to get more like how the frick we do that?
Yeah, I think we've got like blueprint style, just like tiles that we can pick
Mhm.
out and then draw. So like Hab A or like Part A is like the kitchenette or something. It's like all these like very single use functional things that you strap together. You jaquaze it nicely, so there's lots of loops and exits and everything like that. And yeah, I feel like that creates you program the route by answering the prompts in a particular order. It like shows you what
Mm,
you do during the course of a work day and then like a leisure day or something like that.
yeah.
Okay. So what kind of rooms would be in here? Because I'm trying to think of it. Like you said kitchenette, um,
Lab.
lab.
Lab,
Um
living space,
living
bedroom,
space.
Okay.
bathroom,
Bathroom.
and they're all these like I I we say in Sims again, but in Sims you can like create it. There's got to be a something where you just section in rooms, and again, it has the prefab sort of artificial feeling of it too, and so it can be functional for us in terms of rules, but then also giving for the artificiality of this kind of lived space in terms of the setting. I think it's doing a lot of work.
And like some
Okay.
rooms have quirks, like the lab always has an airlock in it. And that's a tight space that you have to stay in for 2 minutes or something like that.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Quarantine.
So it's like, is there a problem solving? Decontem. Is there a problem solving element in arranging these tiles? Is there a limited resources? Do you not get all of them? Or like, is it just like whatever you want? Just throw them down. That's good enough.
I
Or
like some problem solving, especially if it's like trying to fit in the right pipe puzzle door to the next one.
so like labyrinth now.
And
So
maybe there's something like that. I don't know. What do you
where it's
think?
like like things got to connect. I like the idea that there's no hallway, so the only way to get to one room
Right.
is going through another room.
Yeah.
I also think it makes it easier to like
Oh,
functionally design it at the
it's
table, so you
evil.
don't have to worry about. You're just
It's But, like, also, there's such a premium on space in
yeah.
space, like, we would you waste square footage on a hallway? Like, probably not, so, I live in a place with an absurd amount of hallways, like, the hallway to other floor space ratio is buck wild, and I like the idea it's like, no, everything's just, like, connected. Maybe you can move, like, kind of rotate it so, like, the doors have to fit, and maybe you can't fit everything. Maybe it's like a bit
Yeah.
of an impossible puzzle where you can't have everything. Like there's the option to have like a library or a recreation space or like something like that. Will you be able to fit it? Only if you're willing to sacrifice something else, maybe.
Maybe those like cool capstone rooms have only one exit. So like they can only fit in on one spot. And things you need, like the bedroom or like the living area, the lab, have set spots, something like that. And we could even do larger zones that are connected to each other that need to be like airlock decontamination zone or whatever, something like that.
Like an office, having your own actual office separate from your lab would be something different. So, like, if you wanna take the calls in private, you need an
Yeah.
office, but you can't have an office and a gym. So you gotta
Yeah.
pick if you get to exercise or not, or if you get to have privacy on your work calls.
I love that. And then you can have like narrative designy things like a shrine or like here's the music room or here's
I feel like that's the second part is the idea that like you start with this sterility that was designed in a factory by somebody who didn't wasn't thinking about the human beings living in it. It's all about the practicality of it.
yeah.
And the second, you're then okay, this is a lab, but it's also my meditation room. This is the bathroom, but also I like to call it the spa because it just makes
Oh,
me feel better about my sonic showers. Like um,
okay,
oh yeah, oh.
big tile show room, small tile show stuff.
Mm,
What if stuff show intention? Stuff show how time spent, the stuff.
I like
So,
that.
you brought a guitar. That needs a space, but we're gonna make it take like, I think the idea that it takes up a bigger space based on, like, how much of your life it takes up, like, physically.
Wow,
Wow.
that's huge. That's really good.
That's really good,
You
Anne.
said you're 4/5 of a game designer. Did you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
actually 7/5? Did you know this?
It's 7/5 in Canadian.
That's right.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's metric. Okay, so the stuff it gets bigger, and I think that's more fun. I actually think I like the idea then. I'm gonna scrap this other stuff that I said, like, instead of having these special rooms, instead, that's all stuff that you gotta
Yeah.
fit in.
I
Uh,
like the idea that again, you've played into the emotional space versus the physical space. Big. Like that's I think that's a cornerstone we can really hang a bunch of stuff on. And so I'm imagining that as part of the creation process in the middle, you list something not connected to these physical objects or squares that are important to you, and then you have to kind of rate them in terms of important. Like, I like my guitar more than I like this cheese board, you know, and then you are given the sets of tiles, and so the bigger pieces then automatically will get fit in, so you don't connect
okay.
them initially, but then you make the list and then you smush them together, and then you have to like place them places. I think that's good because then in the third, oh, this other alien scientist is moving in, but they need a place to live. The guitar can no longer be in the living room. Like,
Yeah.
this is starting to push stuff out in
And
this third bit.
eventually, I like the idea that they take over space as
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
spend time there, and eventually you have to get rid of your guitar or something.
Yeah, you have to get rid
Um,
of the guitar. The guitar can't live in that space because it has to be full of hydrogen, and hydrogen gas is a four square piece, and the only place it can fit is the living room, the same place that the guitar has to go. So the guitar has to be physically removed in order to flood the space.
It's a roommate inventory puzzle.
It's a roommate
Yeah.
inventory puzzle,
Yeah.
it's a
Evil.
room it's a roommate
but also
inventory
about
puzzle.
first contact, but also about your feelings, but also about you're far from home,
It's
and
an
that's being ripped
inventory
away from you.
puzzle, but the inventory is your heart.
Right.
And then
We are the pear's
also
apples. It's us. Exactly.
we're moving through the space because the heart is a spaceship, and we're going through there, and and then it's about like how when people like take up more room in your heart and in your life, they tend to take up more room in your like physical
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Do you have
except
to make the shape of the heart, or do you just like draw it back at the end? And you're like, "Whoa, we made a heart the whole time. We had no idea."
it was
Or is it
always
just that optimal? We have the pipe puzzle, so it's optimally if only if you make it into a heart shape.
anything can be art.
Anything can be an art. Anything can
It's
be a
an
dating
alien
sim.
heart.
Yeah.
Cafeteria
Uh,
asked, "When do we kiss the alien?"
I was just gonna say
Whenever.
the whole time. You've been kissing the alien this whole time.
You got to find the right tentacle to kiss. The problem is you don't know which one. It could be a social moray. Like, I think that's again this like third
I
part.
I also like the idea of not directly describing what the alien looks like and only using the
Totally.
prompts and the effects that they have in the environment to
Totally.
describe them. Like having that.
Okay, but the one thing is the game is called something about whales. So How about this?
Yeah.
The only description you get is, like, you were set,
Gotta
you're an
keep the name.
exobiologist.
We have to keep
The
the name. That's
We
part
have
of
to
we
the
keep
have
the
game.
to keep
name.
We have to
I
keep the name.
know.
We could come up with such a better name.
We
It's what happens every time.
can.
That's
And
what
then I guess
subtitles are for, baby.
listen, when we do the 2.0 and we do the re-release, we'll change all the names, but for
When the
now
rights revert back.
yeah.
um, okay.
But for now, we're here. So I like the idea that the only thing that you got, maybe the message is garbled, is that there's something like cetaceous about
Mm,
this species. That's all you have for context, and we can interpret that. They make whale sounds. They have
yeah.
to be underwater. They have like a weird skin. They have a blowhole. They have
They have a
like
blowhole. It's the
whatever.
closest
let's
thing.
let's pump the brakes on blowholes. I
It's
feel like
the
that's getting us a real direction, you know?
I said that all
Howard.
you got is they're cetaceous in some way.
I think that's great that you have these like vagaries, but that again, the idea that you don't fully describe the thing, and again, it's the we only have a very limited human lens, and so
Yeah.
we're like, I guess they're a cetacean, but I think the first contact kind of frame in really helps that as well in terms of the
Yeah.
emotional stakes.
Okay.
This is good.
It's a
I,
game.
s- I still need help on the last bit. Is it prompts? Like the third bit,
Uh,
everything else is coming really clear to me. And so the
so you've got the routine you do, and then you interrupt the routine with prompts. So maybe there's like a you're using roll tables to determine like where in the space something is happening, and that will dictate you to like the prompt and the potential resolution or something like that.
okay.
Okay, sorry. I need to know you said the third part. I need to know where in the game you are.
The the encounters with this other alien, the discomfort, the what was the
Okay.
phrase that you both keyed in on? Forced
Forced
Proximity.
cohabitation?
proximity.
Forced proximity? That's the part.
Read a book.
Forced proximity. Read
Read
that
some
book.
smut.
Literally read a
Read
book.
something with a fucking blowhole, you prude. Um, yeah, I think the heavy lifting that I need. Everything else is coming really clear to me. So in
Okay.
terms of us going to break, writing a bunch of prompts, and then coming back in and playing it, help me
Okay.
see it.
Wait, the one part I'm lost on is like how is the routine set? And you said roll table like so like is it we just decide where we go? Do we
Yeah, so in my imagination, we build the house, the whatever, let's call it a house, and then we build the
Yeah.
routine by answering prompts about what we do during the day and how we fill up that space.
Okay. And then do we get to draw how we move?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
All
think
right.
I
So
think
we
it's
have
a
like a route.
clear like A to B to C to D thing, and depending on how much specificity we want in terms of the morning, the middle of the day, the late
Yeah.
of the day, the leisure day, and then knowing that we're going to be in this room at this point, in this room at this point.
Yeah, I think Deathloop rules for like what time of day it is great. And then
Mhm.
part 3, we have a hot alien injection into our space, and then they interrupt our basically we create emergence through the alien interrupting what we've already answered as our prompts for those things. And so maybe it's just like creating a new version of that, or maybe rolling and measuring the tension that that's making, and maybe something happens when tension needs to be released, for example. um
You have been designing for 30 minutes.
That's fine. That 30 minutes is fine. Okay.
That's the
Um
corporate owners of the Moonshack.
that they're asking for our weekly report and we are
Yeah, we're
behind.
behind. We're behind.
Okay. First off, what's death loop rules?
Oh, so Deathloop's just a video game where you're like living the same life over and over again, and you can go to like one of like 5 locations, and they have like a morning, afternoon, and night stuff that's going on. So if you're like, oh, I want to go to the park in the morning and I see what's happening at the lab at night. So I it's a clumsy way to talk about like what Grant mentioned is just there's 3 phases in the day.
Okay, so in the day you can go to 3 places.
I like the line. I like because again, I like all these visuals, particularly because you're going to be focusing on the limitations, the claustrophobia of the prefab environment, and so if there is a literal arrow that gets drawn on that map, so that feels very appealing. Because
A little
then also then
piece moving around.
yeah, because then also and then you're like, there's the line implies a kind of a schedule and a linearity and repetition, and the fact that at this point in the line, in the literal arrow, the other alien is suddenly there. Your linear, your the normality of your schedule is being interrupted.
Okay. Here, okay. You go to 3 places in a day. So if there are 5 places you can go, but you only go to 3 in a day, you decide. You can decide, or we can roll. I don't care. But it means that the shape is going to be slightly different every day, and then every day you roll for where the alien goes. Okay, the alien will be on the physical map, so the alien's
Mm.
going to land on your guitar, right? Meaning that you then have to answer, why are they there? What did they do? How did they change this space in some way, in some small way? And I think that tile like changes colors or something
Yeah,
to be
you
like
could do
where
like
they've been.
a die drop on it. So you have a handful of dice and then drop it. And then you take the highest die value, and that's where the alien is, and that number represents some valence of how the alien is feeling.
Yes! I love this. Okay. Okay, I love throwing a bunch of dice at something. So you get
Oh, what if they're like 3 different D12s or something, and they're different colors, and then those represent like, here's the cryptic D12, here's the connection D12, and here's the tension D12.
spoiler alert of the century. This is now a Daggerheart hack. Okay,
Uh-oh.
hold on. No, I'm into it. Okay, I have 2 D12 that are different colors right here because I was playing Daggerheart.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
okay.
Open
Um,
fear, right? Is that
yeah,
right?
it's hope and fear. Well, we were
Right.
playing a hack. It's fine. Ours was different, but um, yeah, no, that fucks. And then I think but here's my other thought. Other thought, okay, is that the double value of the die physically having to land somewhere tells you where, and then the number maybe tells you like the significance. But if we add more meaning to the dice, i.e., that it has to be the highest number, that means it'll always be a high number. So
Mhm.
I don't know if we want to do that, or maybe we do. I don't know. Maybe it is always a high
Maybe we
number.
just drop 2. I think that's
Maybe we just drop 2.
yeah.
Okay, and then one signifies one thing, one signifies another. Um, and then maybe the alien goes to 2 places. One place they just pass by, and another place they change in some way, and then the number on the change die is how much they change it,
Yeah,
like
I like
how
that.
big of an impact they make. I don't know if a 1 to 12 scale is a real scale, but, like, maybe we could make something of, like, 1 is they leave something behind, 2 is they take something like, something small away, 3 and then you get to 12 is they, like, fundamentally take over this space. It is now
Mhm.
their space, and it is hostile to you.
Yeah, I think this is really strong.
So we got 2d12. Do we want
Does it could be D4 just
a
to make it easy
prompt,
for us right
everyone?
now?
I
Yeah,
guess.
let's do D4.
We get a couple
I also have
d4s.
those here because I got them
Call them
chasing down
d5s.
drop
I like.
4.
I
We have
want
a
a
d5,
connection dice.
3
Yeah, D,
areas.
we'll use D5s. I want a connection dice. I want a tension dice, and I want like the alien as being a weird dice.
I don't remember what
Alien's always gonna be weird, right?
I have
Or is it
these
how
dice
weird?
that are like 0, 1, 2. I don't know if y'all know what game this is from, but
That's for a war game.
maybe it's
I think you've been playing Warhammer. Just, I think you play Warhammer when you fall asleep. Is that right?
Listen, sometimes I just go to conventions and people give me stuff and then I take it and I think it's a D6 and then I don't understand why I'm so bad at Powered by the Apocalypse. So okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, yes, no, I like this. Uh I zoned out, but you were saying D4s?
Yeah, D4s, and then they represent the different like thematic ways you either are connecting with the alien, that you have tension with the alien, and then maybe they're changing the space as well.
Okay, yeah. Okay. A connection one, you go here, you connect, something happens here that makes you feel more connected to them. They do something
Yeah,
here that makes you feel more connected. They
you
do
have a
something here.
connecting encounter. Maybe.
Well, because I don't think you have an encounter unless they land on your line.
Oh yes, that's perfect. Yeah, you
But
might.
Because they're interrupting your linearity.
but I think you can fall in love with the artifact someone leaves behind. So I think they like do something there
A
that
handkerchief, an alien, a
Wow.
cetacean handkerchief here in the lab. Do we feel
Alien
like
makes you breakfast, you're not gonna fall in love? Explain that. Explain yourself.
I mean, the breakfast makes the floor like dissolve, so I can only do so much.
It's a thought
well,
that counts.
I was gonna say, like, if they land on the guitar, but it's a connecting one, maybe they learn to play the guitar with their tentacles, and it's, like, cool, and you're
Yeah,
like, "That's actually rad as hell."
we're a
Um,
band now.
we're a band now. I wasn't even there, I just heard you playing music, and at first I was mad, and then I was like, "Oh, that's sick." And then the tension one is like, "But then you went to my lab and you fucked around with my samples, and now my boss is gonna shout at me." And then the third one was they changed the space or
Yeah,
something?
it's just the like their cryptic effect on the world.
Yeah, and then I went to the bathroom and everything's overflowing and the won't stop running, and you just said that it has to be flooded at all times, and now I can't piss without getting wet feet, and I don't like it. Um, like, I think, like, if those are the kind of 3 things.
That's great.
It's unfortunate we can't rename the game "I Can't Piss Without Getting Wet Feet" because I think that's a more applicable name. Do we feel like we have enough to go to break, scrap some notes down, and then come back and play it?
I have no idea how we're gonna play test this here, but I do think we have a lot in our
We're gonna
Very,
do something.
very
Uh,
paper prototype
we're gonna
coded
we're
this
gonna we're gonna
game.
we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna
we're
scrap some notes.
virtual, we don't have any props, we've made a very physical, at the table
And that's
game.
okay.
I
You
believe
know,
in
we
us.
can generate some of these ideas and play through the rest, right? Like the prompts and ideas. How are you feeling, both of you, at this stage?
Great.
Wait, when
And
I have
seven
one
clips
more
and
question.
yes.
When does the game end?
Wow.
When you realize that it's a heart, when the
No,
house
you
it's not a house, it's a
Sorry,
home.
Jen just shouted "when you fuck" all caps in chat, and, like,
do I don't
okay,
want to make
It's
I don't want to
it's
force that to happen at the end
it's
when it
about
should be
yeah,
happening.
it's about the tension, right?
I think there so someone in chat Cafe Dora mentioned each zone can have a cost you pay to get that thing, and the place where the alien land changes the cost. I think that's a pretty simple mechanical way to add like i- compounding costs that then become impossible to pay, and then you hit a epilogue when that happens. Maybe it's
I don't
something like that.
understand, but it sounds like you do, and that's what matters to me.
So like if so it's a little bit like spoon theory. So if I've got like 10 spoons a
Okay,
day to
that yeah.
spend on all my
Oh, no,
tasks.
no, I know.
Yeah,
Hey.
sorry. Don't have to very fucked up to explain spoon theory to someone. Um, but anyway, yeah,
It's
for the
me talking with my
chat.
green hair. Yeah, no, I don't know what that is. I just have a 32-inch frog behind me because I'm neurotypical and not disabled.
But there we go.
No,
There's
tell
the
chat, tell
alien.
chat. They need to know.
It's way bigger than I thought it was.
I always say
It's
32 inches, but
but
I thought I translated
when they move closer to the camera will now
There's
explain
some
now
forced
explain spoon
perspective.
theory while you contemplate how objects can be small when they're far away.
Um, I would say Google it. But the short
Great.
version, short version is that you each day you have an amount of spoons that you could spend on tasks. Tasks take amounts of spoons. You might wake up with 10 spoons and have 7 spoons worth of tasks to do. You have 3 left over. Sometimes you wake up with 2 spoons and you have 10 spoons worth of tasks to do, and life is extremely difficult. The alien adds to the spoon cost of these things based on the different interactions you have. Maybe like filling the room with piss water, for example. In our example,
That's 5 spoons right there, baby.
exactly, makes it much more difficult, and that just adds to like the tension you're building day after day, and maybe you hit like a cap, and like you hit an epilogue, perhaps based on one of three epilogues that can happen: the tension, the cryptic, the connection one, based on what you've done during your playthrough.
Okay, yes. And the cryptic die is the one that increases the clock, essentially. The cryptic die does that. Because I
Yeah.
like the idea that tension and connection is to tell us what happens when shit finally hits the fan. Like, do you find the power of love? I think also you can decide. I'm not gonna write that. I'll say you don't get to decide, but also you can decide. I'm not
Yeah,
your
you can
dad.
decide.
But like I like the idea that then you have this like pool of like good faith and also animosity that
Yes.
you're drawing on.
It's the spite tokens from Quiet Year. It's like we're
Yeah.
just taking this optical token to mean I'm feeling something. It doesn't really have a game effect, but perhaps this is the end game thing.
I like the idea too that you can like keep score of all the times that some person's fucked you over.
When you
And
have a
like
shitty roommate, it feels like you're keeping score, right? Like
I I once I have so many stories of shitty roommates of the times I got into that w- Will's when we just let garbage overflow into the whole apartment because I was like, I've taken out the garbage every single week for 3 years, and it was your chore on the chore wheel the entire time. You do it, and now we live in a garbage heap. So,
yeah.
yeah,
And we're gonna
that's the
take
day.
those anecdotes. We're gonna take that energy into the break and slightly whalify it. You're gonna think of all those anecdotes and be like, "But what if they don't breathe oxygen?" Um, Jan, if you would bless us with a break and a 10-minute timer, we will return shortly as a scientist forced to live with a whale person.
Sexy. Bye.
Hey,
Welcome
everybody,
back,
we're
everybody.
back. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. We are ready and excited, raring to go to play Wayward Cetaceans, cohabitation.
Flip that. Flip it.
Nah. What's the
Welcome.
subtitle? What's the subtitle? What's the title?
Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna do, we have imagined a space in which we are in some prefab living space, external to Earth. Perhaps we're on a moon. Perhaps we're floating, untethered to planetary gravity.
I want to be on a
Um,
spaceship.
we're in a
Sweet.
spaceship and society.
Thanks.
The space is pre-constructed and locked together, which we were going to represent here on the board, as well as kind of some paper that Anne is drawing. Um, the first step is to decide functionally what it is and why it's limited. Then we are going to, as a group, decide how over time, a vague amount of time, we have slowly begun to transform it into something comfortable, something familiar. Um, and then the crux of all of this is the wayward cetacean is going to come in a first contact exchange of another alien, which is not at all like us, that we've only heard vague oceanic rumors about their nature. And so their needs are then going to clash with ours. We're the original odd couple. So what we have, we're going to make our space here. Um, uh 7 vaguely interconnected little boxes. um
In our
uh
little doc, I put in the amount of exits that each box has.
Absolutely, yes.
Jeez.
So,
Okay,
um
listen, this would be a lot easier if we were in person.
yes,
This
yeah,
is the
definitely.
you're
lab.
so right. We got a
I
lab.
made you a lab, okay? There are 3 exits. Left, right, up. What do you want to put at each one?
uh
Let's Are you whose
no,
turn
I
is it?
was gonna prompt you, Will, so go ahead.
I They be prompting themselves. I will put in storage to the left.
Bam. Okay, storage
And
only has
and
one.
when you place it, Will, what is something that's kind of claustrophobic or foreboding about it? Something that maybe through a kind of unintentional design choice, think like an engineer on another planet, a factory, a practicality that makes it functional but not livable per se.
Yeah, it's got everything I will need to survive for the next 5 years, and being confronted with that scarcity and that abundance in the same room is hard not to have a meltdown.
Excellent. Absolute fire. Um I would like the water closet or the washroom to you Canadians at home.
I have a prompt
Uh,
for you.
to the let's put it to the far right of the lab there, Anne.
So, Graham, my question for you is what about this bathroom does not meet your specifications? Like, what is the bad part of this bathroom for you?
You have to do everything standing up, and you have sort of like kind of like it's so you have you the way that like the simplest possible half bath is like a shower only. That is the whole bathroom, and then you have to like you have the kind of tubes that you attach to kind of do everything that you need to. There's really
Beautiful.
no comfort. This was a space that is about the simple practicality of it. It's impersonal and uncomfortable. You're in and you're out, kind of doing everything you need. Um, And we have another space. So
I'm gonna place the kitchen up
great,
here.
fantastic.
That's where the kitchen is.
And then my prompt for you is we've got this storage that has all the like meals that we're going to eat for the rest of our time aboard this ship, but you've brought some things from home that use maybe it's a spice, maybe it's a dish or something that you particularly like to prepare. How do you make things special for you?
Hmm. So I think all the food here is freeze dried and like vac and like already processed essentially. Like cooking was not really part of this. There was only food prep, there is no cooking. And
Mm,
I think I chose to bring some cooking utensils. Um like that really like things like a whisk. I'm just Italian. One of those like paddles for rolling gnocchi and stuff out from the potatoes, like things like that that are little bits of excess that feel like home.
This is part two stuff. This is
Sorry, I
no,
can't
no.
stop.
I'm
Everything's
blaming
too
Will. If anything,
no,
it's
it's
you're doing
no,
fine.
it's
it's good,
beautiful.
but it's what
Uh,
we filled in the place.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's that's true. The idea is creating the space and then making it ours so that we can then take it away. Um,
The play
There's
storm dictated otherwise, so let it roll.
we are rolling. We are
Let's
rolling
rock.
as we will. Let's place an airlock on the other side of the kitchenette, and then that will be our extremely limited space.
we do not have a bedroom.
We do not have a bedroom.
Jeez.
Fuck.
The tension die is rising.
I'm stressed.
A two, not a three.
Okay. Oh, you get okay, sorry. All right, so that's the layout of the little spaceship where we have to live.
Of our
For
living
seeming
living area. Yeah.
and I think part of it is that, like, obviously the lab is huge compared to everything else, so it really shows you where our work-life balance is.
Hmm.
Like, it's fine.
All right. So now we need to generate either physical objects of comfort or a kind of a broader sense, like a ritual or a routine. Um, so the gnocchi roller is a fantastic example of one. Um, uh, Scented candles. We're in space. That sounds like a bad idea.
Diffusers.
Diffusers. We were talking
Well,
about a guitar. So I
so
think like a physical object or a designation. You know, like this is no longer the washroom; it's the X, or it's an action. It's something that we do in that room that brings us comfort. So pick something vaguely that you want to place in the space. We'll each put in one, and then we'll place them in one of these rooms. Um,
well, okay, and I think we were supposed to do like ranking them, right? So let's maybe come up with our three things and then rank them.
sure.
So I say that I brought cooking utensils, which
Hmm.
represents my deep love of cooking and like the heritage there.
I think our character sleeps in the lab because she's a massive, has no work life balance. It's all work.
Hmm.
And so I think it's a sleeping, what's it called? When it strings from like tree to tree? A
Hammock,
Hammock.
hammock. Yeah.
space hammock.
Because before I was on the spaceship, I love to go on like extended outdoor backpacking trips, and I think it's
Mm,
the one that I brought from that.
Yes. I
that's
was a
great.
hammock camper, and then so this felt like, hey, didn't need everywhere to rest my head. I just got string of a hammock. We're good.
Yeah,
Love that. Okay. And Graham.
I think that because initially the finality and limitation of the storage area fucked me up so bad, I think that every morning I do kind of a like a gratitude counting. Maybe it's OCD, maybe it's by choice, but whatever reason, it's kind of like a grounding ritual that I do. How many rutabagas do we have? Like, you know, how much of the those bits are. Um, uh, our we're a mathematician as part of our work out here, and so that's a way for us to feel connected to what's going on.
For the physical artifact, can I suggest that we keep like a tally, like a logbook? We do daily inventory logs from zero, which is wild.
wow.
Sure.
Okay. So we have these three things. Let's rank them of how big of our life they are.
So we got we
We're
got a hammock, we got cooking utensils, and we have gratitude.
well, I was saying an inventory log if we're doing physical objects. If we're doing anxiety and gratitude and the need to count. We're doing the outdoors and the ability to make do with whatever. And then we're also doing like the love of cooking and tradition and heritage. So those are the three things. We got to rank them for this character.
Yeah, I was thinking that it doesn't have to be under all those things, that each object would be one of them, that you don't have to like force it all to fit. Like it's an object or it's procedure or it's
Okay. But I thought the point was we're trying to get it physically on the
that,
map. So I
that's
need to
true.
put it somewhere.
That's true.
Um, so I still got to rank them, whatever.
Yeah, I see they're all like character platforms basically that like make us who we are. And I think the most important thing is we're alone, we're on the space, our independence is very high priority. So maybe the stock book is like rank number one.
Oh. Okay, I was gonna say the hammock for that, but
Okay.
alright. 'Cause I was like,
I
for me, the
think
hammock represents independence of,
then
like, our
let's do
time in
it.
the outdoors,
Yeah, I like
um,
hammock
vers
too.
versus the stock book is, like, maintaining our gratitude as things spiral out of control and, like okay.
And I think the
That's
thing we get to the least is the gnocchi roller because like that makes us feel most like ourselves, but
Sure.
uh it is a sacrifice away from work time.
Sure.
'kay. So imagine in this game, there was actual math behind the size of these things, but, I there isn't now. So we're just
So
doing
so
this.
I think that roughly the idea will be that like certain objects can only fit in certain rooms. So we prioritize the hammock, so it could only fit in the lab. And then the stock book is like let's call it like a 3, 2, and a 1, right? So like the lab can hold 3 objects. The water closet and the kitchen can only hold ones. And the storage can hold 2. The airlock, I guess, is 1 as well. So like 3, 2, and 1.
Sweet. And to make it sci-fi, we should probably have it be like 3 million, 2 million, 1 million.
Yeah,
And it's
sci-fi
a
is adding
laser
more
NeoCube
zeros.
roller.
Laser Neo
So
roller.
Yeah.
I will say I do love in a sci-fi movie where they do something like really manual that like could be so easily automated and they choose to do it manually because
Yes.
as
Oh
someone who
yeah, just
writes
like
large amounts by longhand with a fountain pen, I'm like, I
pasta
like to know that there's
drying.
things. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we want to make pasta, but oh, it's been abandoned. Okay. All right, what's the next step, Graham?
All right. So let's split it down into morning, morning, afternoon, and night. Where do we spend our mornings? Where do we spend our afternoons? And where do we spend our evenings? And that'll be our line that will get interrupted.
Okay.
Counting, I feel like, is the first thing.
So storage, we start in storage. Give us a little different colored line.
Because we like wake up in the lab and then go to storage.
I think it's kind of flexible, right? Like, yes, we do literally wake up in the lab, but I think you're right about the first action being. So we can call that storage, and then whatever we're doing in the lab, the things that are
Work.
important to us, work,
Our job.
our job, whatever that is, exobiology. Um, and then like evening in the kitchen makes sense.
Yeah. And then we go to sleep like that.
Yeah.
Is that
We can imagine a line with more points, or these smaller bits. Like, just because we don't have it on the line that we never go into the washroom doesn't mean that like it's not part of the line. But this is our abstraction of our routine, of our regularity.
yeah.
Okay. So now we have to disrupt it sometime. This is the part in which I'm gonna need y'all's help.
Okay.
We're gonna take our 3D4, and you're
Yeah.
gonna drop them somehow, and that's going to represent where this part of the story. So we have our normal life. There's other
Okay.
scientists. This first contact, this cohabitation exchange has occurred, and so our environment is being changed. The things that are familiar are being moved or removed, and as we are going through our normal life, this person that we cannot escape from is now interrupting those things. So we have called the 4 dice cipher,
Okay.
connection, and tension.
All right. I did my best imitation
Yeah,
on a scrap
perfect.
of paper
It's
so that
perfect.
I can roll on it.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say this one's tension, cipher, and then connection. Okay. So we got immediately, which order do we go in? So let's start with, I'm going left to right. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay. I got a level 3 tension in the counting space.
Oh no.
Which does also mean it's an interaction because it's in the morning.
Great.
So we hit every single thing at once on the first roll. So I think in this, what happens is that like, okay, here's my mind. So the alien has come aboard. We've made some space for them. We gave them their own hammock somewhere. I don't know. Or maybe they don't sleep like that. Whatever. They're here now. And then we go in the morning, first thing in the morning, to do our slightly neurotic but self-soothing and also gratitude routine to count the logbooks. And the alien is in the storage room and they're like messing with
They're
stuff.
reorganizing.
They're
Hmm.
reorganizing
That
according to
would
their
kill us.
okay, and this is actually a thing interculturally, like library and classification systems vary across cultures because of how we organize thoughts varies culturally. So I think they're reorganizing things according to how their worldview is.
Mm.
And it fucks up everything in our
Yeah.
logs. And because I think maybe our logs were also done by like maybe not item, but like location in part of it too. And so it's like for it to be a level 3, I'm like, they broke the log system.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
great.
what do we do or what do we say, Will? Do will or say? Say do or damn it.
Hmm. Hmm. So I feel like I want to know the full scope of like what's happening in the course of this day or this week, and then diving into scenes. Feel like,
I think we could do one or the other.
yeah.
So in that case, let's see what all the other dice are. So where do all the other dice end up, and we can kind of talk top down, and then we can call it good, and we'll do a round of feedback.
Cool.
So
So the second one, also a 3,
okay,
and it wasn't quite on our path, but it's in our job corner. So this is the cipher. This is the one where they change the space in a very significant way.
and it got dropped physically on the lab.
Yes.
Hmm.
That's
So
great.
the lab has been changed in a significant way. We get there and it's already changed. We don't see them do it. We don't run into them. But they've changed something to make it more accommodating to them and more hostile to us. Not quite a 4, in which case it would be actively hostile to us, but a 3 is like, it's so much worse for us.
Yeah, and I think the cipher die again for something with so few moving parts, you have to push to the extreme as much as possible, which is like, what do they do that makes our work impossible? You know, there's like something fundamentally that now has changed it so much that we can't do our daily work.
I
Um,
think the water's up to waist level. I think it's something like that.
how
Like,
how do you come up with this stuff?
wow. I'm in love with the biologist from the 70s. So
I see.
Yeah.
It's a different game, I guess. What is our Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, 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 yes. Um, and our third was that
Okay, the only thing I wanna add is it's not water. It's a
great.
yeah.
liquid, but
Yeah,
I think it's something that they can synthesize with their
might be
own
piss.
body, and so we're like, "Is this alien piss, or is it like a
Mhm.
substitute creature?" But they're like, "No, no, no, this is just like a thing that we do. We can make our own environments," and so I've just, like, made this my own environment. It's the biggest room. I sleep here too.
It's kind of
Yes.
And
smoky. It's got like like an '80s movie swamp kind of feel to it, where there's just like a little too much dry ice.
yes.
That's great.
Um, okay, connection is a 2 in the kitchen. So it's not as intense of a connection, but they do something in the kitchen. We don't see it, but we come across something in the kitchen that makes us feel more connected to them.
Yeah, and non-disruptive, right? Like all my first thoughts are like they're touching our shit or they're taking part in the ritual.
See,
But
I
that's
think
their
they
dice,
can
right?
do
So
that. I think that's fine. I think the like cipher one is really like they really fuck shit up. It's not just
sure.
rearranging something because we already said they rearranged in the storage area. I think this is like at that like the connection, like they might make some affect some change. It's just they haven't made it hostile to us.
Totally.
I'd say.
I think they love our cooking.
Cool. Great.
I think that's yeah.
We feel
Oh my god.
compelled, like we're being a good host. We've made a lot of laser gnocchi, or maybe it's just compulsion, right? Like we've had such a stressful day that we've made like too much, and they're just curious, and so we offer them, not knowing they're like swamp piss water, if even they're compatible with gnocchi, right? But they love it. Yeah, I think they really really love it.
Oh my god. And I think they ask us to, like, cook more and more. They say, like,
Mm.
"Your food is this is m" like, they're like and we've been neglecting this part of ourself,
Yeah.
and they see it, they're like, "This is incredible. You have this skill. Like, this is amazing. Why aren't you always doing this? Why don't we just always be eating? This is fantastic."
Sure. This is great.
Oh, now I like them again. I'm back
Yeah,
on
See?
board.
I think that's the
Ah.
what we're trying to do, right? Is that like the invasion of that space and whether or not you enjoy this and the parts that you can't change and can't control. I think it's very good.
Oh,
Um,
it's cute. This is a guys, this is a cute game.
so we'll do a round. We'll do a round of feedback, which is something that went well, or something that didn't go well, or something you would change. One thing. We'll go around. we'll have Will do further plugs if they so desire, and we'll carry it out. Will, what is your one piece of feedback?
My rose, the thing I liked, I loved the like physicality. I love that I could imagine, I could just directly draw on my like experiences living with other people and being able to slap a genre on it and just like exchange these stories with both of you, which is like, that's why we're playing games. And I think the con is just this game requires like content writing, and that's something that doesn't hold up in a play storm. But I can tell from playing that like it would, you know, this is has the juice to me. And what did I think was interesting?
It's
I
just the one thing, Will.
Oh, okay.
Well, it can't be stopped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're play storming, right? I can't contain you.
yeah.
So what should
Now
be
you're
changed?
getting it. Yeah, I think the interesting part, the thing that, not the I want to play it physically. Like I want to see it
Totally.
in person, and I want the table presence.
What is your one piece or many important pieces of feedback, Anne? Where's your head at right now in this point in the process?
And I will help with this. I want to design these little rooms. I want to have
Mhm.
physical things that you can print off and then you got to cut
Mhm.
them out and then you can
Mhm.
arrange them. And I think that's so fucking cute. And I
Mhm.
love looking at floor plans. And I think this is an absolute delight. And you can arrange your stuff in it. And I like the idea of like having like really, you know, anyway, this fucks. This game's incredible. Um, the thing that my thorn side of it, because I guess that was kind of the same thing that Will said, so it doesn't count.
It
Um,
counts.
is that like I really want I think those narrative prompts to be promptier because I'm like in my heart a story slut. Like I want I want the story. I want it to like have like a moment in time, not just like oh we go here every morning. I want to tell like the story of one morning where we went there and how it made us feel and like really like get in a little deeper on that phase of it. So I think that's something we can like flesh out a
Yeah.
bit. The
I, I,
scope is
I
creeping, but I love
The
it.
scope creeped constantly. I think that was a big part of it for me, is that each question brought about like more and more solutions in which we ended up. And I like a lot of where we got to. Again, the kind of dollhouse or paper doll aspect of moving the pieces around is especially when they're working with theme, I think worked really strongly for me. I think part of where I started to kind of lose what the parts were doing, or even like how they were supporting the overall thing, is when like we're interpreting numbers from 1 to 4. I feel like it wasn't quite as fruitful as the rest. A 2 or a 3 or a 4, it doesn't give me much, or even give players as much, in terms of like what does it mean, and then how generative is it in terms of the emotion. That was definitely the part I was struggling to see the vision for the most. But we're all riding this rocket together, right?
I
I
think we
think
could do like prompts for 1 to 4 for because it's only
sure
3 dice, so that's only 12. We could do that.
we've done
And
that. We've done that
I
on the
think
show.
it could be the prompt could just be like, how did they irreparably like how did they completely make this place hostile to you? Like just to give you like it's like when they ask you to rate your pain on a scale of 1 to 10, you're like, what does that mean? And then but when you get the better pain scale where it's like, I'm struggling to make full sentences, and they're like,
Hmm.
that's an 8. I'm throwing up and convulsing. That's a 10, baby.
Yeah,
And like that's so much more helpful. So I think even if we did like a scale like that, might be helpful. A pain scale, if you will.
I
A
love
love
that.
scale.
Well, that's been a show. We've been make it a game, um, and I'm excited to see where it's going to end in its final form. Uh, Will, do you have any projects, things you're involved with, other things you would like to shout out here at the end?
Yeah, if you want to find love in a freaky mutant world, you can find my upcoming game Plasmodics in January, coming out on goodluckpress.co. Got a copy right here. Mutant Freaks in the Weird Future. It's my like little Kickstarter thing. We got mutants in here. Go check it out.
Fi- Finding love with weird mutants in the future sounds like the game we just made.
Wow, there's a lot of good deals on here right now. Jeez.
Oh yeah, we've got all our holiday bundles and everything like that. So you could get the Good Luck Press starter pack, you could get our like horror zine thing, and we have got a secret drop happening at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. That is a Frankenstein inspired partner building game that Seb Pines is making called We Shall Be Monsters. That is very sick. And if you liked the stuff we talked about here, I think you'll definitely love it.
That is very much my shit. Hell yeah. This is great. This has been such a delight. Thank you so much for joining. This has
Thanks for
been
having me.
so much freaking fun. I'm having an absolute riot. I'm obsessed with this game. I'm already imagining my little dollhouse that I want to build for it. I'm so excited about this. And that, my friends, is the show. Remember, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe on the Patreon. Helps us keep the lights on. Also helps us generate these sick titles. If you want to put the title in that Will wanted the title of this to be, you can do that there. Okay, that is the power of contributing. And on that note, Jen, do you want to take us out? Bye.